Hello, once again, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome into Stanek Field, where your Red Raiders getting set. They're batting first here today on the road against the Euclid Panthers. Now, yesterday we saw these two play at Shaker territory. 19 to 2 was your final. Shaker Heights getting the victory there, and it was only 3.5 innings played in that game. Shaker was really doing well offensively, and the pitching for Euclid was really struggling. That first pitcher only went in for, I believe, 2 innings, or he tried to pitch 2 full innings. Unfortunately for him, through 84 pitches, he could only pitch 32 strikes, and of course, 52 were balls. So Shaker came away with 10 walks. In the hitting department, they only had 5, but of course, as mentioned, 19 runs. The errors were really coming into play for Euclid. They had 5 yesterday. In their game before that, they actually had 16 against John Hay in that loss. 13 to 11 was your final there, but Shaker is looking for another replication of that success as seen yesterday. Again, Shaker is entering into this new conference, the Greater Cleveland Conference. This includes this Euclid squad: Medina, Menor, Brunswick. Brunswick is a familiar opponent. We played them last year, but this Euclid school, Shaker hasn't played them since 2019, so we will see if they can finally pick themselves back up after that pretty big loss yesterday. Now, starting us off in the batting order, it's going to be Malachi Kranz. He's occupying shortstop here today. Right behind him is going to be Colin Richard, and also due up in that third spot is going to be Andrew Burley here in the top of the first. Now, the umpire just about getting set. Malachi Kranz stepping up behind me. He will be hitting, I believe, right. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. It should be a good game for the Red Raiders once again if they have that same kind of success. And again, Shaker not really playing any of their starters. They're looking for this third win of the season to come a bit easier than the other ones. You don't want to let your guard down, but you do want to play it smart, and that's exactly why we have Kranz starting us off here. Now, he's in the batter's box behind me. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. First pitch to Malachi Kranz, upstairs, ball 1. Number 2 is the pitcher today for the Euclid Panthers. Malachi Kranz with number 20 on the back of his jersey. That pitch upstairs. We saw Kranz once in that game yesterday. He was the shortstop substituting Brett Moore. That pitch he'll take a swing at. It was off the plate. Strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kranz. Now the next kick-in pitch from the righty off the plate once more, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike for Kranz's at-bat. Colin Richard, the next man up for the Red Raiders. Once again, Andrew Burley, the third man due up here today. Next pitch to Kranz, off the plate, ball 4. Kranz will lead us off with a walk. He earns his spot over at first. That's a good way to get us started. Same kind of thing as we saw in yesterday's game. Again, 19 to 2 was your final there. Kranz taking the lead off of first. First pitch of the new AB down low. Colin Richard, number 7 on the back of his jersey, yet to get a hit, and so far he's had 4 at-bats, 4 plate appearances. This next pitch upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out with a man on first. Now Kranz going to steal this time. He'll dive in head first. The throw from the catcher makes its way all the way into shallow center, so he is safe. Over at second. Still nobody out. Now a runner in scoring position and RBI opportunity for Richard. That last pitch caught the strike zone. Strike 1. 2-1 the count. The next pitch. Ooh. Almost came in and got him. He ducked out of the way of that one. 3 balls, 1 strike. Cranes once again taking the hefty lead off of second. And Richard with a swing and a miss that time. Swing just a bit early. Looking to make some big contact. Unfortunately for him, not the case. So we're up to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch is on its way now. And just upstairs, it misses. Richard takes his spot over at first. So Cranes occupies second. Richard's on first, and that'll bring up the man in the 3 spot today, Andrew Burley. Burley in yesterday's game did strike out, however, or actually, he did strike out twice. Next pitch upstairs to begin his at-bat. The next man up in the 4 spot would be Braden White, assuming he comes up. This would need to be a triple play for it not to be. Now here's the pickoff attempt over to Cranes. Cranes back in with a dive. He's over occupying second base. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Stanek Field out in Euclid. Thank you very much for joining us. This next pitch, up and in. Ball to Andrew Burley. And now this next one, cut on and missed. A strike. Andrew Burley is batting .400. He's got 2 hits in the 5 at-bats. Here Cranes is looking for the steal. He'll get in, and he just evades the tag above him. And also on the steal was Richard from first to second, so now 2 men in scoring position for Burley. 3 balls, 1 strike to Burley. Burley, the right-handed batter. Now the next pitch to him. This one's cut on, sent into left field. Getting under it is Anderson. Anderson makes the grab. Tagging from third is Malachi Krantz. He will be in safely for run number 1. And Braden White is now the next man up. So Burley with a sacrifice flyout. Richard still over at second. He did not tag. And Braden White with some power behind the bat is up right here, right now. He had 1 at-bat in the game yesterday in which he did strike out that first pitch off the plate. One ball, no strikes to Braden White. 1 out with 1 man on in scoring position. The next one cut on and missed. But here's the steal attempt from Richard. He decides not to slide, but now, as the throw gets away from him, makes its way into shallow left. Richard's going to make his way in. There's run number 2. Still 1 out. Now 2 runs have come in to score. DeLoach's next pitch, it'll miss. He'll get away from the catcher, Toros. Braden White with 2 balls, 1 strike to him. Still 1 out. The next man up would be Nemo Crosby wearing number 13. Next offering to the catcher, upstairs and in. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Braden White batting .154, not a great average. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 2. So that'll bring us to a countdown. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the payoff pitch to Braden White will be delivered with the kick. And the offering, upstairs, ball 4. Braden White throws his bat over to the Red Raider dugout. He'll jog his way over. He's the next man on, but the next man up is Nemo Crosby. Crosby In yesterday's game, had 3 plate appearances in which he walked once, he struck out once, and the other time was just an out. First pitch to him, will catch the strike zone, strike 1. Next man up would be the designated hitter, Eli Stolfus. And pickoff attempt gets away from the first baseman, but not enough for White to advance from first to second. 2-0 your score, 1 strike to Nemo Crosby, and now here's a Braden White steal attempt, and he is in without a throw. It's now another runner in scoring position, Nemo Crosby with a tied count, 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. The next pitch down low, Braden White was thinking about stealing. It would get past the catcher. Fortunately for him, it did not, and so he's back over at second. Good awareness by him. Now what's happening at home plate? 2 balls, 1 strike. Next pitch, off the plate, ball 3. Deloach currently with 26 pitches, 8 hitting the strike zone, 18 not. White taking the lead from second. He'll extend that lead out with the pitch and a big swing from Nemo Crosby. Strike 2. So just as we saw from Braden White, a 3-ball, 2-strike full count with 1 away. And now this next pitch, upstairs, ball 4. Nemo Crosby takes the spot over at first. 2-0 is your score. Eli Stolfus now the next man up. He's the designated hitter in today's game. You'll typically see him in the infield if he's not designated hitting. He's showing bunt, and bunt he will go with. It'll make its way back to the catcher. He'll throw on to first. He is out. There's out number 2. That'll bring up O'Shea Howard, number 2. It's number 2 against number 2. Righty against righty. 2 men in scoring position. Nemo Crosby over at second and White over at third. First pitch, does catch the strike zone in that upper right-hand corner. His upper right-hand corner. The 0-1, cut on and missed O'Shea Howard. Quickly with 2 strikes on the count. Now, in yesterday's game, we did see a couple times in an 0-2 count, they were able to work them back to a walk, surprisingly enough. Let's see if that's the recipe here. That pitch down low, ball 1. 1-2 the count, 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Next man due up would be Fogarty. Here's the pitch. Just off. That was a good pitch location. Just not able to get the swing and miss from Howard. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0 score. This one's fouled back over to the Red Raider dugout. Fogarty, the man picking it up in the on-deck circle. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Deloach with his 35th pitch on its way now. This one's popped up on the infield. The shortstop calling everyone off. Now he'll range in, making the grab. Not above his head. He'll drop out the glove in front of him. But regardless, the catch is made. 2-0 is your score. Shaker leads. And now we're going to get Thomas Barrett on the mound. That is right. Some people might have thought he would have been too injured to play in this game, but he is. As head coach Stephen English told me, no more pitches than 20. He is on a strict pitch count due to his injury. We'll see how he does in at least this first inning. In this first inning, we assume it's going to be. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Euclid, Ohio. We're going to be right back for Thomas Barrett's debut of the regular season. So Thomas Barrett in now. He was meant to be the #1 guy in the Red Raider rotation this year before he got that injury of the left arm. Time is called before his first pitch. You never like to see that in your senior year, right before it at least, taking that injury. Here's the pitch, down low, and so it's going to be a really interesting inning for Thomas Barrett just to see where he's at in his recovery. First pitch was down low, 1-0. Now the lefty with the next offering. This one fouled back into the backstop. Thomas Barrett, in last year's season, he left it with an ERA of 3.368, which is a great ERA, at least in high school ball. And so that was really good. Shaker out a lot. There's strike two, especially as you're entering into the Greater Cleveland Conference, a harder league as compared to the Lake Erie League, which Shaker resided in last year. The 1-2. This one fouled up and over into the street. Will Tagan out of the ball game today. He's going to go track that one down. We'll do it again at 1-2. Nemo Crosby had to also get something out of center. One ball, two strikes, nobody out as we're just getting started in the bottom of the first. Thank you very much for joining us. The next pitch from the lefty will be very much down low. And Barrett knows it too. There's pitch number 5 from Barrett. And again, he's on a strict count of 20. Be shocked to see him go over it. This next one fouled back. Once again, he's having a tough time putting number 4 away. This from Thomas Barrett once again at a 1-2 count. Now one just inside. Excuse me. So now we're up to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Barrett with the next pitch on its way. And just off the plate and down low. So, 8 pitches down, 1 man on, over at first. Good at bat from the leadoff man. First pitch of the new at-bat. Swing and a miss. DeLoach, the pitcher in today's game, now the batter in the right-handed hitter's box. The 0-1 on its way. This one popped up foul, almost nailed Braden White in the head as it flew off the netting. Luckily it didn't, he's all right. Will Tagan delivering the baseball now over to the umpire. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Here's the pickoff attempt. He's back in safely with a dive. Barrett already halfway through his pitch count. Here's number 11, fouled back. So once again, Euclid batters staying alive with 2 strikes in their counts. That last one, they kept it all the way up to 8 pitches. Can DeLoach have that same kind of success? Once again, no balls, 2 strikes, taking the lead off of first. And now here's the throw from Braden White, and he should be out over at second, and indeed he is. Great throw from Braden White. My goodness. And they got the swing and miss as well. So we get a double play there on the strikeout and the stealing catch over at second. Next pitch of the new at-bat. Upstairs, outside. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes. 7 more pitches for Barrett until he's done with that 20-pitch count. I might let him conclude on an at-bat. It's just not at all ideal. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs after the double play that just occurred on a beautiful gun down from Braden White. Next pitch. This one sent up down the third baseline. Foul. Out of play. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. This next pitch down low, ball 3. Barrett up to 16 pitches now. Looking to have a clean sheet in his debut inning. This next one popped up on the infield. Burley gets under it, making the play as Kranz runs right into him. Luckily, they don't collide and make a mistake, but Barrett with a good debut inning here in the regular season, and that's more than likely all that we'll see from him here today against the Euclid Panthers, but that's a good sign of how his recovery has gone. So shout out to Thomas Barrett for the beautiful 0 that he threw up in the box score, and now we'll expect a new pitcher coming to the mound next for the second inning. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Euclid. Shaker already up by 2. Let's see if they can extend that lead. Due up, it's going to be Andrew Fogarty, Casey Robinson, and then back to the top of the order with Malachi Kranz. We'll be right back. Andrew Fogarty, the next man due up. He's in the 8th spot here today in the batting order. 2 lefties to start us off, but actually cap off that batting order. It's going to be Andrew Fogarty, number 4. He's got some power behind the bat. Well, let's see what he can do here. First pitch to him, on its way from Deloach. Upstairs, outside, ball 1. So far from Deloach, that's 36 pitches, 14 hitting the strike zone, 22 unable to find it. That next one off the plate once more. 2 balls, no strikes. In that first inning, Shaker not actually getting any hits, but they were able to get those 2 to come across, and that was due to those 4 walks. They also had a sacrifice fly out. They had a bunt at one point from Eli Stolfus. And so now here they are, up 2-0. The 3-0, Andrew Fogarty just catching the strike zone on the outside half. 3 balls, 1 strike to Fogarty. A large backstop out here in Euclid if the baseball is to get away from a catcher. That's dangerous territory you're entering. This one is ball 4. Fogarty takes the spot over at first. And Casey Robinson, the 9th man in the batting order, is due up. Behind him is the top of the order once more. Deloach with 40 pitches, the 41st on its way. Are they going to look for the double play? They will not. Just able to scoop it up eventually was the first baseman, Smith. He struggled with it at first, a bobble or 2, but he recovered. He made the play. There's out number 1. Fogarty moves up to second, and now it's an RBI opportunity for Malachi Kranz. Kranz talked to me before this game. He's eager to get this leadoff position start here today against Euclid. He's eager to prove himself. Of course, Brett Moore is that starter ahead of him. He's that commit to Salem University. And so now we'll see what he can do here with the opportunity presented to him. Number 20 on the back of his jersey. Over at second is Andrew Fogarty, number 4. The first pitch of the at-bat upstairs. Ball 1. There's 1 out after the ground out from Casey Robinson. This next pitch inside. Ball 2. Kranz 0 for 0. He walked his first time up. Him and Colin Richard actually walked their first time up. So it was already a dangerous position for Deloach in the top of the first with those first 2 guys on. This next pitch upstairs, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes with 1 away for Malachi Kranz. Kranz looking to replicate that kind of success, of course, now. Can't imagine he'd be swinging here. And he does not, whether or not it's going to hit the strike zone there. In high school baseball, that's normally how you play it. 3 balls, 1 strike. Next offering to Malachi Kranz. Off the plate, ball 4. Kranz in his first 2 ABs will draw 2 walks. Let's see if Richard does the same. He walked his first time up. Fogarty still over at second in a 2-0 game. Burley would be the next man up. Here's the first pitch. Ooh, over the head of Richard. Wanted to duck out of that one for his own security. 2 men on, 1 out, and an RBI position. The 1-0 offering making its way to Richard now. Here's the double steal attempt. Fogarty down with a headfirst slide. He is safe, got under that tag. He's safe over at third. Kranz makes his way to second, so now 2 RBI opportunity for Richard. Two balls, no strikes to him. The kick in the next pitch. Once again, can't find it. Now this next one. This one's sent over to the third baseman. Kranz stays put over at second. Now he makes his way over. And he is out over at first. So Richard gets the sacrifice ground out. Kranz safe over at third. And now we'll see what Burley can do in the RBI opportunity himself. 3-0 is your score now. Deloach already with 50 pitches now. Burley 0 for 1. However, he did get an RBI his last time up on the sacrifice fly. The kick and pitch from Deloach inside, ball number 1. 3-0 now, your score. Burley looking for another RBI. This one's going to be popped up, taken in by the shortstop Mooring. We saw Mooring actually pitch in yesterday's game, but they're making the shortstop play. There's out number 3, Shaker up 3-0 through the first 3 half innings. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Euclid, Ohio. We'll see how Euclid can respond in the bottom half of the second. Brett Moore, the new pitcher, hasn't pitched so far this new season. Here's the first offering, right down the middle, but couldn't draw the contact. Strike 1. And next one also cut on a miss. That time got him with a good pitch location off the plate. Brett Moore last year left this season. There's actually 3 pitches, 3 strikes from Brett Moore. Efficient at bat that time for the new man up at the mound. Brett Moore exited last year with a 14 ERA. Not exactly a recipe for success on the mound, but clearly with a first at-bat like that, he's looking to attack pitchers. He's looking to do so effectively. Next man up, a left-handed hitter, swung on and missed once again. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. This next man up, Hernandez. This one fouled over to the left side, and that'll get into the parking lot. Everyone looking over the fencing to make sure their car is all right. So now 5 pitches, 5 strikes. Now the kick and pitch from the righty. That one down low. Makes its way right into the fencing. Here comes Braden White to get it off the backstop. That'll move us to a 1-2 count. There's one out after the strikeout. He's looking for another K, and there he'll get it. Good pitch once again from Brett Moore, and he's looking to maybe strike out the side. He's 2/3 there. At first pitch, cut on, missed. Now the next offering, this one sent right back to Brett Moore. He'll handle it on the short hop. He'll flip it over to Casey Robinson, and an effective pitching performance through 1 inning from Brett Moore. Not typically on the mound, however, that time really finding some success, and so Shaker continues to leave Euclid scoreless. 3-0 is your score. Thank you very much for joining us. Shaker and the Raiders beating the Panthers currently on the road. We'll be right back. Through 2 innings, 3-0 is your score. Braden White is going to be the first man due up in the new inning, taking a big swing outside of the batter's box. Now he'll enter into the right-handed batter's box. Deloach with a kick and pitch. It'll miss the mark for ball 1. Deloach currently with 53 pitches, 19 hitting the strike zone. The next pitch, just off. 2 balls, no strikes. Braden White, once again in yesterday's game, went 0 for 1. He struck out in his 1 appearance. Now the next offering inside, ball 4. A quick 4-pitch walk for Braden White. He'll earn his spot over at first, making that jog over. And that's actually his second walk through through his second plate appearance. So the next man up is going to be Nemo Crosby. Crosby walked his first time up as well. And there he hesitated on going around, but regardless, it was ruled strike number 1. Man at first is Braden White, nobody out. This one's sent up and into left field. Under it is the left fielder Anderson making the routine grab. Braden White stuck over at first. There's out number 1. The designated hitter Eli Stolfus is up next. His first time up, he had a sacrifice bunt, moving the men over at first and second to second and third. Pickoff attempt over at first. Braden White in with the step of his foot. Shaker up 3-0, looking for more in the top of the third. The next pitch, just a bit too elevated, a little bit off the plate as well. Ball 1 to Eli Stolfus. Now that next one just catching the strike zone once more. Just barely. One ball, one strike. This pitch upstairs. Once again, there's one out. Braden White over at first. Or excuse me, that was 2 balls, 1 strike. Third one just made its way to the plate. And now, is this ball 4? No, swing and a miss. Strike 2. That'll count us down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Deloach with his 64th of the day, making its way right now. Down low, ball 4. Stolfus draws the walk, a 6-pitch walk, and that's going to bring up O'Shea Howard, an RBI opportunity as Braden White moves from first to second. 2 men on, 1 out for O'Shea Howard. Howard, his first time up, I believe got a fly out or a ground out, one of the 2. This one fouled back into the cages. Catcher Toros gets over to it, plays it off the backstop. Deloach with 65 now on the day. 66th on its way. This one cut on, sent over to right field, shallow right field. It's going to drop down. Rounding third is going to be Braden White making his way home. He'll be in safely. Andrew Fogarty telling him, you're up, you're up. So Braden White didn't come in with a slide. He was safe. And over at third is Stolfus. Over at second is Howard, and that'll move our score to 4-0. Fogarty, the left-handed batter, he'll step in. Bat raised above the shoulders. This one cut on, sent over top of the Euclid dugout and into the parking lot. Didn't hear a thump on any cars. Everyone should be all right. Fogarty, number 8 in the batting order. His first time up, he drew a walk. Casey Robinson then grounded out, bringing Fogarty over to second. We need a replacement baseball, and now we're going to get one. Fogarty with 1 strike on him. There's 1 out with 2 men in scoring position. This one cut on, sent over to the second baseman. The throw on the first, taken in time. There's out number 2. 1 run comes across with Stolfus making his way home. Howard makes his way to third, so it's going to be RBI opportunity time for Casey Robinson. In the New Balance cleats, he'll step into the left-handed batter's box. First pitch to him, cut on, and this is almost replication of the last time. A ground out over to second, and there's out number 3. So 2 back-to-back quick outs to conclude the top of the third, but Shaker gets 2 more to come across. 5-0 is your score. And now Brett Moore looks to take the mound once again after an efficient bottom of the second. Let's see if he can replicate it with the bottom of the third. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here all the way out in Euclid, Ohio, not too far from Shaker Heights, just about a half-hour drive from home base. Shaker on the road, however, nonetheless, out in Stanek Field. We'll be right back with the call. My name is Vaughn Ullum. And Brett Moore back out to the hill. He had a great second inning appearance. He came in, pitched 9, 8 hitting the strike zone, had 2 back-to-back strikeouts the last out of the inning. However, it was a ground out. And the first pitch from Brett Moore, that'll catch the strike zone. He's back to attacking these hitters, and he's back to doing so pretty well. The 0-1, and an off swing that time from number 11. Back row the batter. This is first time up to the plate, in the 0-2 on its way. Now this one fouled back into the chest of the ump. Good way to stay alive. Baco, the one to make those last 2 outs of the last inning. Or of the last half inning, should I say. I'm looking for another K. Brett Moore with this one. It's fouled off over down the first base line, just foul. Over at first, actually, we had a substitution over at second as well. We have Wesley Lewis over at first, and now we're going to have Aaron Neiman at second. Here's the pitch, down low, ball 1. Good fight from the batter, number 13, or excuse me, number 11. It's going to be Neiman's first time, or excuse me, Lewis's first time actually in the field for a varsity game. That next pitch also misses, ball 2. Now we're evened up at a 2-2 count. This next one, ooh, off the plate once more. Brett Moore seems so close at first to put him away, but now he's in a dangerous position. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch, down low, ball 4. And there is a 7-pitch walk. And number 11 going to earn that spot over at first. Great at-bat for him. That's going to bring up Mackey. Mackey, the right-handed batter, wearing number 8 on the back of the pinstripe jersey. Euclid, of course, with their primary colors of blue and yellow, the pinstripes of that blue color. Here is a pickoff attempt over after the pitch from Braden White over on the first. However, not going to be in time. Man over at first is Baco. Brett Moore with 18 pitches, the next one on its way. This one down low, another ball. So we're evened up with a swinging strike and a ball 1. Right over to our right here is that Euclid football field. This one down low, ball 2. Over to our left, we have the football field. Shaker actually played at this football field earlier in the football season. And an incredible running back. The defense really struggled with him, but Shaker was able to get the victory. Looking for the stealing attempt was Baco, just not able to do so confidently. Braden White stood up. He knew he could gun him down at any given time. So with 2 balls, 2 strikes, still the man over at first, the swing and miss. And now looking for the pickoff attempt once again over at first. The runner back in safely head first. But there's out number 1 on the Brett Moore K. Right behind home plate, of course, we have the high school itself, and to the left of the third baseline, we have that athletic parking lot. This one's going to get away from Braden White, so without a throw, the advance is made by the runner from first to second. Still 1 out, but now it's an RBI opportunity for Caldwell, the senior, up at the dish. Now here's the pickoff attempt. Does he get him? He does not. The umpire calls this one safe. The umpire standing just about in front of Malachi Kranz at shortstop. Leaning forward, making sure he sees everything correctly. And now the next pitch down low. 2 balls, no strikes with 1 away and 1 man on. The 2-0. This one will catch the strike zone. Braden White threatening to throw this one once again across the diamond on a second, but they go back in safely without a throw. The pitch. This one right down the middle. Here is the throw on the second, and he's in safely once again. He'll get time called. He's back on. And now time is taken off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Our runner over at second, rather feisty, I think is the way you kind of want to put it. He's back and forth, really trying to get into the head of this defensive squad. So with that pitch inside, we're back to a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The payoff pitch will be from Brett Moore now on his 28th of the day. With 1 out, here's the payoff. Upstairs, ball 4. Brett Moore now struggling a little bit more on the hill as seen in his first inning of appearance, that bottom of the second. Now it looks as though we're going to get time called, and head coach Stephen English comes in. He'll call in his infield as well. Braden White joins them out from behind the dish. Brett Moore currently 28 pitches down, 17 of which were strikes. Before him in that first inning, we had Thomas Barrett. He pitched 17, 10 of which hit the strike zone. But of course, Barrett was on that hard pitch count after recovering from that injury. Still is really recovering from that injury. And so it showed progress. He threw up 0 on the box score. However, of course, you don't want to let him go too long, or else a lot of that recovery could find itself down the drain, and you can't have that happen. And I want Thomas Barrett back for the OHSAA tournament if possible. He would be the most ideal guy to have. He was supposed to be, once again, the number 1 guy in the rotation. There's strike 1 from Brett Moore. He was supposed to be the number 1 guy in the rotation, but that didn't exactly hold at the summer baseball league in which he participated. He just threw a bit too much. At least this is what I've heard from him and players. And so he injured that arm. And so now he's just on that long road of recovery. This pitch down low, a ball from Brett Moore. Five nothing is your score. Shaker leading this one on the road. This next pitch will catch the strike zone. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out with 2 men on. Double play is in order. This next one, that'll get away from Braden White. He'll take it off the cages. No throw is made. And now the double play, not really in order much anymore. At least not the typical routine double play that you're gonna see over at second and first. Still 2 strikes on the batter. But now first base is empty. The pitch, this one cut on, and that's going to bring a run home if they want. Oh, here's the throw on the home, and he is out over at home. Good tag from Braden White. Great throw from Aaron Neiman over at second. The freshman getting it done. And so now it's going to be runners at the corners with 2 outs. Great bang-bang play. Now we're going to get the Euclid coach talking things over this time with the umpire. He's explaining what he saw. And from this spot, it looked like what he called was just about right. Looked as though he didn't get under the tag. And that's what the umpire is going to keep with. 5-0 your score. Once again, runners are at the corner away. Deloach, the starting pitcher for Euclid, is on the right-handed batter's box once again. He's 0 for 1. Here's the stealing attempt over at second. Aaron Neiman cuts this one off before it makes its way there. You don't want to let that guy from third come in to score. Caldwell, the man residing over at third. Brett Moore trying to keep this one a 5-0 score. That pitch upstairs, hesitating on it, was Deloach, but he held off. It's a grayer day here in Euclid, Ohio. Nothing really different out in Shaker. Again, it's only just about a half-hour drive. There's a big swing and miss. Good pitch that time from Brett Moore. Got him down low. But yeah, a very gray day, pretty chilly as well. Not exactly what we saw in yesterday's game over at Shaker. That pitch just about down low. Thinking about the steal was Caldwell. But he hesitates and runs right back. Yeah, yesterday we had a lot of wind blowing in from right field into left field. It was really rough for our setup. Our broadcasting setup continued to tip over due to the high winds at our elevated position. This one's fouled back into the glove of Braden One. There's strike 3 and out number 3 in the bottom of inning number 3. A lot of threes. So Shakerites keeps their lead at 5-0. Out on the road, we'll see if they are able to extend this lead even further. Yesterday, they won the game 19-2. Will they get that kind of 17-run success? Well, we'll see. Let's see who's due up. Again, no substitutions were made. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here from Euclid, Ohio. We're going to be right back with the call of the top of the 4th. Malachi Kranz due up for, once again, the top of the order. Number 20 on the back of his jersey, the junior, steps into the right-handed batter's box. Here we are for the top of the 4th. The first pitch, just grazing the strike zone on the outside half. Once again, Deloach is back in. That was his 70th pitch, 29th strike. 5-0 your score. Shaker looking to extend the lead. That pitch outside, ball 1. Nobody out as we're just getting set in the top of the new inning. And now this next pitch inside, ball 2. So far, Euclid is 0-3 in the GCC. They had 2 double-digit losses to Menor in their 2 games before this one. There, Kranz was swinging that one off the plate. Misses the contact, 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch upstairs. He'll work this one to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out for the junior Malachi Crans. Almost an hour through this one. First pitch was slated for 4:30. That one is ball 4 once again to Malachi Crans. So Crans in the leadoff position here today in all 3 of his plate appearances, 3 walks. So can't exactly complain if he's getting on base. Richard, the next man up, he also walked. At first pitch inside to Richard. Crans takes the lead off of first with his left arm swung out. He'll make his way back over to first. You can tell he's thinking about that steal. He stole earlier. I believe that was in the first inning. We'll see if he plays it aggressive once more. 77 pitches from Deloach. The 78th is on its way. This one down low, it's going to get away. Crans hesitated at first. Now a bit late of a call, but he's going to be in safely and without a throw over at second. He is safe, and now he's in scoring position. 3 the count to Richard. And the next offering upstairs. Had to duck out of that one. Ball 4. He's over at first now. Crans, of course, won't move after his stealing attempt. Got to still give him the credit. He's over at second. Shaker not messing with the first 4 guys in the order. So Burley is still up, and still due up is going to be Braden White. And that one's actually going to run in and get get Andrew Burley on the bottom half. So 1 pitch, 1 hit by pitch, and he's over at first in a bases loaded opportunity for Braden White. He'll take some big hacks at it in the batter's box. He's 0 for 0 due to his 2 walks in his first 2 plate appearances. Next pitch, off the plate, ball 1. The man at first is Burley, the man at second is Richard, and the man at third is Malachi Crans. The 1-0 offering to Braden White is on its way. Big swing and miss, just a bit early on the swing. You could tell that was a pitch that he wanted to have back. He was looking to drive that one all the way over the home run fence if he could. The 1-1 now, upstairs, ball 2. Next pitch from Deloach, inside ball 3. Three balls to Braden White, 1 more, and Deloach will walk in a run. The 85th pitch of Deloach's day. Upstairs, ball 4. Braden White flips the bat over to the dugout. Crans will make his way in. And there's run number 6 for the Red Raiders. Now we're going to get a mound visit for the Euclid Panthers. We'll see if Deloach keeps his position over on the mound. Nate Landever substituted in here today. He was substituted in for Nemo Crosby, so Landever is going to get the spot over at center field. While they're taking that mound visit, you can also see over to the left side of that green pole, you can see Landever talking things over with head coach English. The umpire breaks up the mound visit, just taking a bit too long, and now first pitch to Nate Landever, catches the strike zone on the lower half. Strike one to number 2-1. Bases are loaded, big RBI opportunity for Landever. The next pitch, almost ran in and got him. He ducked out of the way for ball one. Leaving us up 1-1 strike with nobody out in the top of the fourth. Still yet for our first out in the top of the fourth. This one off the plate. Excuse me, it was on. Strike two, just catching that outside half. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And here's the pickoff attempt over to Richards, third base. He'll make his way home. Burley going around third. And he makes his way in safely with a slide. And now Braden White in over at third. And actually the home plate umpire disagrees. I believe he thinks it was an out. And it was close. Now the umpire is actually going to talk this one over. So currently 8 runs did come across, and they're definitely safe. However, the question is White safe over at third? And he remains safe. Nate Landever still in, 2 strikes to him. Next pitch. Upstairs off the plate, ball 2. Bit of a frustrating call for the home fans as Braden White was indeed called safe over at third. However, 8-0 is your score. Still, no matter the case. This one's sent through second and short for an RBI single. Nate Landever rounds first, but he will hold off there. Braden White comes in for run number 9. Now due up, it's going to be the designated hitter once again. Next pitch upstairs to Stolfus. Stolfus 0 for 1. He walked once, but he did get a ground out once. Neiman would be the next man due up. Taking some big, healthy hacks in the on-deck circle. This one's cut on, sent over to the shortstop. Mooring handles. He'll make the throw. Just took him a bit too long to let it go. He's safe over at first. And actually advancing from second to third is Nate Landever. So runners at the corners with still nobody out. And so now Aaron Neiman steps in, an aggressive batting stance. Here's the throw on a second, but it's going to be Stolfus making his way in to scoring position safely with a stand-up steal of the base. Deloach with 93 pitches now, the 94th, making its way now on a 1-0 offering. Off the plate, ball 2. The next man due up behind Neiman is actually going to be Tyler Zach. Tyler Zach, typically a pitcher. He's always a pitcher. He's a pitchers only, as it's called. Teams refer to those players as POs, of course, pitchers only. And so it looks like he's actually going to get an AB assuming this is not a triple play. Neiman swings at this one down the first base line. The first baseman handles. He'll step on to first. Run number 10 comes into 8 Landever. And now Tyler Zach stands in. Zach, I believe, had a couple at-bats against Warrensville Heights last year due to those games being that same kind of scenario as these. And Tyler Zach takes that one for strike one. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. 5 runs have come across in this top of the 4th, and there's strike 2. Stolfus stands at third. He's the one man on. 0-2 offering to Tyler Zach. The swing and the liner in to shallow right. A big swing and an RBI single for Tyler Zach. And he is happy about that one. Shocked he got the at-bat. The coach actually went up to him before the game and said, should we give you an at-bat? And he said, sure. And so there you go. An RBI single for Tyler Zach. And there's a swing and miss for the new guy up to the plate. That's number 12, Lewis. The freshman Wesley Lewis made his first varsity appearance against Lake Catholic. Had a great pitching performance. However, he was the losing pitcher. So Tyler Zach stands over at first. 2 strikes on the freshman Lewis. And now this one's sent up and into foul territory, over out of play, over near that football field. The next offering off the plate to Lewis. Ball 1. Kranz would be the next man up. Now this one down low. It's going to get away from him. Tyler Zach looking for his first stolen base of the season, and there you go. He'll get it. Once again, a pitcher only, but today he's getting the at-bat. And there, getting the stolen base. That'll even us up. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away in the top of the 4th. And that one down low. Lewis was thinking about holding off. And he eventually did do so. That'll work us to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch is on its way. And, ooh, just barely caught the outside half. Wesley Lewis not happy with that one. So there's out number 2. There's a man on second in the form of Tyler Zach. 11-0 is your score. The next pitch to Malachi Kranz upstairs, ball 1. And the 1-0 upstairs, ball 2. Kranz had his at-bat also earlier in the inning as well, but here he goes again. He's had 3 plate appearances with 3 walks. With a swing like that, could have changed the narrative a bit there, actually get it in play, but instead it'll go foul off to the left side, strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Malachi Kranz, the junior, getting his first varsity start of the new year. And the surprising thing was he's in the leadoff position. He's doing really well at it, too. This one's lined into right center. That's going to get down. Good contact for Malachi Kranz. He's going to be in with a stand-up double. Tyler Zach comes in to score. And there's run number 12. Great swing, great contact, great double, great RBI double from Kranz. And that's going to bring up Colin Richard once again. He is, I believe, 0 for 1, and that seems to be the case. There's the throw on to first. However, it's going to pull him off the bag as he grounded that one over to short. So still 2 outs. 12-0 your score. Runners now at the corners. Richard at first and Kranz over at second. First pitch ran in very close to getting him, and there we go. It does. Burley gets hit by a pitch for the second time in the ballgame. The surprising thing is that Deloach is still out there. Deloach is 112 pitches down. He's still out there, still going. And there's a big hack, unfortunately not able to make the contact. Braden White is the man up now. Number 10 on the back of the jersey. Now the next offering upstairs. Braden White took that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs with bases loaded for Braden White. I believe we had this situation earlier in the inning, actually, as well, with Braden White and bases loaded. This one down low. Ball 2, 2-1. Day beginning to get a little bit darker as it's 5:41. It's already been an hour and 11 minutes since the first pitch was to be had. That next pitch off the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike to Braden White. And there's a swing. This one fouled over the left side. That'll move us to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bit of a tense situation. It'd be a little more tense if it was not a 12-run ball game. But here we are. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the catcher, Braden White. And the kicking offering from Deloach. He took that one, and it is ball number 4. Kranz comes in to score once again. And that's actually his 3rd run of the game with an RBI of 1. And that's going to bring up Nate Landever. Landever 1 for 1 as he lined it into right his first time up. First pitch to him. Cut on, fouled over to the left side into that backstop. White over at first, Burley at second, Richard at third. Landever, the sophomore, the batter. 0-1 the count after the foul off. Eight runs have come across to score here in the 4th inning. This one off the plate. Ball 1. And this next one off the plate once again. 2 balls, 1 strike to Nate Landever. That last one was a called strike. This one fouled over to the right side. Is it playable? It is not. Out of play. It was changed. That was now strike 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're all even with the 2s up on the scoreboard. Landever stands in the left-handed batter's box once again. Shaker with only 6 hits, 13 runs coming across. That one will catch the strike zone. Strike number 3. Strike out number 2 for Deloach. However, the damage was done up in the top of the 4th. 8 runs come across for the Red Raiders, and now we'll see who takes them out next when we come back. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Von Ullum. 13-0 now your score. This is as far as the game went last time around. Let's see what we've got now. We'll be right back. It actually looks like Eli Stolfus is going to be the new man on the mound. We'll tell you more about it when we come back. Here from Euclid, Ohio, 13-0 is your score. Number 14, Eli Stolfus, is the new pitcher, with Braden White continuing to catch the balls and strikes for him. We've had a few substitutions out in the field. Of course, we have Lewis over at first. We have Neiman over at second. Those are two freshmen for you on the infield. In a 13-0 game, you want to get more of that experience in, and that's what we're seeing over on that right half of the field. That first pitch off the plate. 13-0 is your score. Shaker with 6 hits to this point. The next pitch, that will catch the strike zone. So far, only 1 error in the game. That's the difference from yesterday's game. We had 7 in total. Now the kick-in pitch from the right-hander, Eli Stolfus. This one down low and outside for another ball. This next one right down the middle. He got him. Strike 3 on the 1-2 offering. It was held up, looked at, and there's strikeout number 1 for Stolfus. Out in the outfield, we have Richard still in his spot over at left. Nate Landever took the spot at center. That pitch upstairs from Stolfus to begin the new AB of Smith. And then over at right field, it is Tyler Zach. So typically you'll see him in the pitching position today. However, you're going to see him out in right just for a little bit more, once again, of that playing experience, as it were. Next pitch from Stolfus. This one fouled back into the backstop once more. Cole Klein running right in front of the camera, making sure to get that baseball from the backstop. I'm sure that one will be delivered to the umpire shortly. Stolfus with another one fouled up. Smith really battling in the AB. $13-0 is the score. Stolfus has his job to keep it where it is. The next pitch looking for another K, and he'll get it with a called strike there. 2 up, 2 down for Eli Stolfus. 2 strikeouts on 8 pitches and 6 strikes. We'll see if Stolfus is someone we're going to have to keep our eye on to return to the mound a little bit more frequently throughout the season. Here's the first pitch of the new at-bat. Cut on and missed by Hernandez. Here at Stanek Field, Shaker with only 6 hits. Euclid still hitless in the ballgame. This next one, outside, off the plate. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike to Hernandez. The next pitch from Stolfus. Ooh, just off the plate once again. Stolfus now 11 pitches down. Hernandez 0 for 1. It was one of the 7 strikeouts so far for this squad. Stolfus tries to scoop this one up. He struggles at first, bobbles it once more. Now the throw on to Wesley Lewis over at first. And there is a rough little out number 3. Wasn't exactly the prettiest of outs, but he gets the job done on 12 pitches. And so, there is the 4th inning for you once again. So, Shaker Heights up 13-0. We'll see if they can extend that lead even more from what they already had. We're going to have, I believe, a new guy on the hill, or at least we should, considering Deloach was up to 123 pitches. It would be a little excessive to keep him out there for much longer, and I believe we will get our new guy out on the hill. So we'll be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here from Euclid, Ohio. Shaker with their 2nd game of the GCC, and so far they're doing pretty well against the opponent of the Panthers of Euclid High School. And we're back for the call of the top of the 5th. After 5 innings, if the run differential is 10 or more, they will call it. So we'll see if that will be the case. Will Tagan is the next man up. He was substituted in, I believe, for Stolfus. This one called strike 1 to Tagan. Next man up behind Tegan is going to be Aaron Neiman. So yes, that would be Stolfus. And getting the substitution out. So Will Tegan now with, I believe, a ball and a strike, or maybe it's 2 strikes to him. Next pitch, that one getting away from the catcher, Toros. Neiman throwing that ball right back to the umpire. The umpire normally wants to have 1 or 2 on him at all times. You never want after a foul to be in an awkward position. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Will Tegan, the right-handed hitter. The next pitch from Brian Smith, down low. Make it ball 3 to Tegan. Currently the score 13-0, but they haven't really gotten those stats through the hits. Yeah, 12 walks for them to this point. The next pitch to Tegan, this one's cut on, belted over to the right side. That one will get out of play over near that football field. Once again, that football field over to the right side of the field, over to the left side of the field. You're going to get the parking lot, and right behind home plate is the real Euclid High School itself. They just had actually these new fields implemented in just recently. They threw in the softball field outside of the home run fence, and then here's the next pitch. This one fouled off over to that football field, and they made that football field where construction ended just 2 years ago. It's a lovely field, lovely press box added in. Again, we were up there in the press box to call that football game, Shaker Heights versus Euclid. Shaker was able to get that victory there. Once again, they will probably get that victory here in baseball against the Panthers. That pitch off the plate. Another walk, this time to Will Tegan. He'll get his spot over at first as the freshman Aaron Neiman is now up. Neiman stands in the left-handed batter's box. He's 0 for 1, but he did get an RBI on his time up. Brian Smith checks the runner over at first, taken back in safely. You'd be shocked if Shaker decides to steal any more than they already have, considering the deficit of the game. That one off the plate, low. One up to the freshman Aaron Neiman. Nemo Crosby and Brett Moore just making their way back to the field after tracking down that baseball that was fouled off. Actually, 2. This one popped up and over back into the bleacher. That one close to hitting some of the Euclid home crowd. Brett Moore, the man to track that baseball down. How you doing, Brett Moore? Good. How you feel about this game?
We're doing okay. We got to just make sure we're picking up our signs so this doesn't happen when we're playing a game where, game might be on the line right here.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a good swing by Aaron Neal there and caught by the left fielder. But, yeah, we got to make sure we're getting the signs. Like, we're not picking up our signs. We're not doing routine, normal baseball stuff. We have to make sure we're clean and just a well-cut baseball team. But back to Vaughn because he's good at this stuff.
Thank you. Big thank you to Brett Moore. He was on his way to pick up the baseball. And so, as you mentioned, that's something that I'm not going to pick up on. Apparently, the Shaker Heights squad struggling with picking up on the signs. Of course, the signs mean nothing to me, just the commentator. I'm not the one that should know what the signs are. However, Shaker apparently hasn't been really implementing them into their play exactly as coach would like them to. So we'll see if that's something that actually continues to sting this Red Raider squad moving forward. However, Brett Moore didn't get much playing time today. He was he was on the mound earlier in today's game. He had a great second inning. There's the pitch upstairs to Will Berglund. He's also been substituted in. He didn't get the start today. But Brett Moore had a great second inning. He struggled in the third, but of course the score still kept up at 13-0. So Euclid has really struggled on the offensive there. Berglund draws another walk. He'll earn that spot over at first as Will Tagan moves over to second. Wesley Lewis, the freshman in the right-handed batter's box, wearing number 12 on the back of the jersey. He got his first varsity start at pitcher against Lake Catholic on Sunday. Again, a bit of a surprising move to have the Lake Catholic squad play their game on a Sunday morning, but play that game they did. Lewis prepping side of the right-handed batter's box. Now he's back. After that pitch got away from the catcher, Tagan moved his way up to third, and Berglund moved the way up to second. Kranz would be due up next. There's one out. The next pitch is upstairs. Lewis 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up on a pitch that was just great pitch location. The umpire gave the pitcher the benefit of the doubt on the outside half. That time, off the plate once again. Ball 3 to Wesley Lewis. He's got an RBI opportunity, but if he draws the walk, no one would be complaining. Kranz is up next if he gets there, assuming this isn't going to be a double play. The 3-0 offering to Lewis off the plate, ball 4. Lewis draws the walk, so he'll get the stat line of 1 walk and 1 strikeout. We got Andrew Fogarty working as the first base coach. Malachi Kranz back up, number 20 on the back of his jersey. He's got 3 walks and a lovely RBI double earlier in that 4th inning. 13-0 your score. Has got something to say about it. Ooh, that will catch the strike zone. Good pitcher's pitch that time from Smith. Smith now with his 20th pitch, making its way to Kranz right now. And cut on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes to the junior Kranz. Again, he's only 1 for 1 with 3 walks and that RBI single. Not looking to go down on strikes. Shaker hitters have only struck out twice in this affair. They've walked 15 times. Bases loaded. The 0-2. Will Tagan back in. And, oh, it's going to get away from the third baseman, so Tagan's going to come in to score. There's run 14. Still RBI opportunity with Berglund over at second. Just no more bases loaded for Malachi Kranz. So now 14-0 is your score. Kranz still with 2 strikes, but now he's got a ball to the count as well. Checking the runner over at first is the pitcher, Brian Smith. He is back in safely and without a throw. Brian Smith, the senior, with the 22nd of his appearance, making its way to Malachi Kranz right now. This one off the plate. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away. Berglund at second, Lewis over at first. Kranz has walked 3 times. The only guy to have more walks than him was actually Braden White. He had 4 in today's game. That pitch going to get away from Turos, but we're back. There was ball 3. So now we have a countdown of 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Kranz with the opportunity here to walk for the 4th time today. except he also has another opportunity to get an RBI. The pitch from Brian Smith, off the plate, ball 4. Malachi Kranz will be that'll be his 4th walk of the evening. And now Richard's going to be the next man up. Richard today 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Now it's going to be bases loaded. Brian Smith is going to be the pitcher. The coach called the mound visit. Now actually messing with the mound, making sure it's suitable for him, I suppose. Haven't exactly seen this too much before. The umpire going to check in as well. He'll make his way over. Richard, Burley, and I believe Garnett has been substituted in for Braden White. So those 3, the next 3 due up. Excuse the camera there. Berglund at 3rd, Lewis at 2nd, and now we've got Kranz over at 1st. This one grounded over to the shortstop, but safely in with a slide is Kranz at 2nd. And so there's another RBI for the Red Raiders, run number 15. Still only 1 out in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Andrew Burley. Burley's 0 for 2, but he hasn't walked. One of only one starter who hasn't walked in this one. Casey Robinson did not walk either. Next pitch to Andrew Burley. This one's popped up on the infield. And the catch is dropped. So they'll reach on the air. That throw gets away from the Euclid infielders. And Wesley Lewis was over at 3rd while Kranz was over at 3rd. What was happening there? They were trying to get Wesley Lewis. The Red Raider dugout was yelling at Lewis, come in, and eventually he did. So run number 16 comes across after Burley reached on the infield error. He was indeed out. I believe it was ruled infield fly. But yes, Lewis scored on the error. We've got 1 man at 2nd and 1 man at 3rd. The man at 2nd is Richard. The man at 3rd, Malachi Kranz. 2 outs now to Quentin Garnett. This next pitch upstairs. That'll make it 2 balls to Garnett. Richard taking the sizable lead off of 2nd. Ryan Smith not checking the runners anymore, so now here's just the kick in the pitch. This one grounded up to the shortstop, and he can't handle it once again. He's really had a few errors over there mooring. And Kranz comes across to score. Run number 17 of the game. His 4th run coming in to score, and that's going to bring up Cole Klein. He's also been substituted in for Nemo Crosby. He was at least the first guy in. Nate Landever was the 2nd guy in, and out comes Cole Klein. 2 outs with runners at the corners. The pitch to Cole Klein. This one lined into right. Will it get down? It will drop down. Run number 18 comes across. Quentin Garnett rounds 2nd, but he'll hold up there. And we play on. We're back to where we started here in the top of the 5th inning. Will Tagan up to the plate. Will Tagan taps on home plate. And now the bat above his shoulders. The first pitch. Ooh, almost ran in and got him. It did not. He got out of the way just in time. The runner over at first is Cole Klein. The runner over at second, Quentin Garnett. 2 outs for Will Tagan. The next pitch. Cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. To today's designated hitter, Will Tagan. Out here in Stanek Field, Shaker with 7 hits, 18 runs coming across because they've had 16 walks now at this point. Only 2 strikeouts. Not a great ratio for Euclid, to say the least. That pitch off the plate and low. 2 balls, 1 strike to Tagan. Shaker, if the weather holds up, would be facing off against Solon on Friday and then North Royalton on Saturday, but that one on Friday very well might be moved or perhaps canceled. That last one missed the mark once again, ball 3. Will Tagan walked his first time up earlier in the inning. That pitch, ooh, just catching the upstairs mark. That'll move us to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Tagan. The pitch to Tagan inside, ball 4. Tagan earns the spot over at first. And Garnett moves from second to third. Klein from first to second. Neiman makes his way in. The freshman 0 for 2 here today. However, he's got an RBI to the name. That one gets behind him. No run will advance that time. Shaker already up by 18. They're not going to go any further. Unless there was an error, as we saw earlier. Neiman with the bat lifted above his shoulders. A lovely gradient design from white to orange to red at the tip of the bat. The 1-0, inside ball 2. Smith now with 38 pitches. Of the 38 pitches, 13 have hit the strike zone. Here's the 39th pitch of his outing, and that's going to be strike number 14. 2 balls, 1 strike to Aaron Neiman. Berglund would be the next man up if he gets the opportunity, but here we are with bases loaded. We'll see what happens. 2 balls, 1 strike. The next offering, that'll catch the strike zone as well. Right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the freshman Aaron Neiman, who's 0 for 2. Especially in a game like today, you don't want to leave it be in a hitless manner. He'll get out of the way of that one. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Bit of a tense position for the freshman. And once again, it'd be a bit less of a tense situation if it was not 18-0. That pitch misses the mark. Aaron Neiman draws the walk. There's run number 19. Garnett comes across to score. The bases remain loaded for the big man, Will Berglund. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call on the Shaker Heights Athletics YouTube channel. Hasn't been the prettiest of games. Ooh, that one almost ran in and got Berglund on the dome. Luckily, he ducked out of the way and avoided it. Klein stands at third. Over at second is Tagan at first. It's the freshman Aaron Neiman. Berglund in the right-handed batter's box with the 43rd pitch of Brian Smith on its way. That one will get away from him. Excuse me, that was pitch 44. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. here in the top of the 5th inning. 6 runs have come across to score. The last inning, it was 8 runs coming across to score. Berglund has home run power. We'll see if that's really what he's going for here, or if he's just going to let the count play out. This one's popped up foul. Everyone needs to keep their heads up. It'll bang off of the metal bleachers over to the left side. So there's strike 1 to Berglund. 2 balls, 1 strike. This next one, cut on, sent over to the right side. This should get out of play, or maybe it won't. I'm not sure it did or it didn't. All I know is that it was not caught for an out. So strike number 2 on Will Berglund. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs still. The next man up would be the freshman Wesley Lewis if he gets the chance. Here's the next pitch, and that's off the mark. Ball 3. Berglund stands back in. Right-handed batter's box. This next one, cut on, sent down the line. Oh, handled by the third baseman. Will it make its way there? It'll be off the mark. There's run number 20. Cole Klein comes in to score. Wesley Lewis gets another crack at it. Euclid just cannot catch a break. So Berglund reaches on the error. So he stands at first. It's going to be Neiman standing over at second, and it's Tegan at third. Thank you very much for sticking with us. This one has been a high-scoring Shaker Heights game. Next pitch to the freshman Lewis off the mark. Down low. Another ball. Lewis 0 for 1. He's walked, but he's also struck out once. Next man up would be Malachi Kranz once again. That pitch off the plate and low. Another ball to the freshman. 20-0 is your score. The Clouds continuing to roll over Stanek Field. Next pitch, that'll catch the strike zone once more. Bit upstairs and inside, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, I believe, to Wesley Lewis. Bases are loaded in a 2-out situation. The next pitch, ooh, just inside, ball 3. We've had a lot of full counts here with 2 outs, but Smith just cannot seem to put them away. Smith has had 52 pitches, 19 hitting the strike zone. Berglund on first, Neiman on second, and it's Tegan at third. This one cut on, this one sent over in a shallow left field. There brings home run number 21. Tegan's in to score, and Kranz is back up into the right-handed batter's box. The umpire touching on home plate, scraping it off the bark. This will serve as Kranz's sixth plate appearance here today. Here we are in the top of the 5th. That pitch misses the mark, ball 1. (21-0). your score. Richard would be the next man up if we get to that point. Bases loaded for Kranz. That one will also miss the mark. 2 balls, no strikes to Malachi Kranz. Still 2 outs. It's been 2 outs for what feels like a while now. And that one down the third baseline, fair. It'll make its way all the way down. And I think that one will take us to the end of the broadcast. You either want to hit the 2-hour mark or we want to hit 20 or more runs. That one will conclude us here. 22-0 is now your score. We're going to see how this one plays out. But thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to leave this one up and running as Richard lines this one into center. Will it drop down? It will. It's fair, and that's why we're going to end this one early. So with this one, Shaker will leave this one with another double-digit win. Yesterday, they won 19-2. Today, this one will keep going. They're already up by 23. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Von Ullum. We will hopefully see you Friday. If not, we'll see you on Saturday. Till next time, my name is Von Ullum on the Shaker Heights Athletics YouTube channel.